Okay, so, as expected, I definitely was overthinking this whole indentured service quest here, trying to run all over the place to find this synthetic insights person or synthetic insights shop or store or whatever it might be. Reason why that sort of threw me off was because you might remember that name. It might sound vaguely familiar. That is because it is actually from Mass Effect 1. It is the organization, I believe, that Lorik Keen was affiliated with, the Turian that we saw on Novaria, who we spoke with and was at least one person that could help us get out of Port Hanshan and over to Peak 15. He's most notably, perhaps, the person that you may remember as the one that you can use an exploit to get unlimited either Paragon or Renegade points. So they are affiliated with not Indentured Servitude, no, with Synthetic Insights. However, Synthetic Insights is not actually a place that we can visit in Mass Effect 2, nor was it actually a physical place we could visit in Mass Effect 1 either. So, as you might have imagined, this person is actually just, I'm pretty sure, on Ilium. So, I know we were running around a little bit, doing some side quests and what have you, but in the interest of finishing that up, why don't we head back to Ilium? And I think there's perhaps one or two other things we could do there as well. So, I mean, we're not desperate for fuel right now. Yeah, we can wait. We should be able to go straight to Ilium here and not really need to fuel back up. At least in the short term. Okay, so let us go to Ilium. And our squad shouldn't matter too much here, I don't think. So, I don't know, why don't we make a point of taking some people that we haven't taken very often, like Thane. I think did we take him last time we were on Ilium for that express purpose? Perhaps. And then, other than that, we haven't seen too much at front, so maybe we go with these two. And apparently we've spent all of our points in terms of abilities. Thane, I forget if we've ever selected his actual weapons. Now, of course, it doesn't really matter when we're just walking around on Ilium, but he is a sniper and SMG person, so that looks fine, and, I mean, again, we're not actually going to be shooting people on Ilium, at least I certainly hope not, so I think we just carry on here. And what we are looking for, as a reminder, is we're looking at this Ilium Indentured Service quest. It was the Quarian we were talking to, who apparently sold herself into indentured servitude, has requested help getting Synthetic Insights to purchase her service contract. So, basically there was this Asari lady who's like, she's basically my slave, and there's nothing you can do about it because that's technically not illegal here on Ilium. Like, well, I mean, yes, but also, really? Also, we did recently realize there is actually a pretty significant upgrade that we were able to purchase here, or that was available here, that we had not yet purchased, and we might have just enough credits to get that. I think it was back in this area. It was one of the more defensive upgrades. So, the kind of thing that we would have liked to have picked up as early as possible, but I think we just totally forgot about it. Fell through the cracks a little bit. And, yeah, probably would have prioritized it above and beyond things like, I mean, some weapon damage upgrades on weapon types that we ourselves don't use. Say, sniper rifles. I don't know if we've recently purchased any of those upgrades, but I mean, of course, this one was in theory available to us fairly early on.
Sometimes you say these things, and I don't know. Maybe it's because you had a Batarian father.
Ooh.
Wow, you're pulling that on me? My father was an excellent caretaker.
Thank you very much.
The word you're looking for is pure blood.
Okay, yeah, I remember having this argument. Okay, this was the shop, I believe.
Going to try and make it as a commando?
Oh, we still can't afford it. Okay. We need about 30,000, a little less than that. More credits before we can get it. Yeah, it's damage protection. Squad bonus of plus 50% to shields, barriers, and armor. That's huge. So yeah, that is something that we would have very much liked to have gotten as quickly as possible, and it should still remain probably our top priority here for our next purchase. So, there's that. But, that is mostly an aside, because for the most part, We are here looking to wrap up that other quest we were talking about before. One about the indentured service contract. Oh, hold on. Blasto? Exactly.
You, the viewer, will decide whether we have done Blasto justice. And to allow you to decide, all first day purchases are 30% off.
Oh.
Entertainment thanks you for your support.
Support Blasto, people. Support the Hanar. Okay, so I believe those people we were chatting with earlier about all this quest stuff were all up here. Okay, so it should be through here. This is, yes, the slave broker, and then I believe the person in question, person we were looking for, is someone somewhere over here? In this general area, perhaps? Bartender? Maybe?
So then he says,
Synthetic Insights rep. So there you go. There's the person in question.
so it's not like
Also,
diseases or anything.
here's a data pad we can nav to Galana LeMay regarding shipping, or in response to shipping routes into the terminal systems. Don't worry, our contact is a Batarian gentleman named Anto. He's one of Arya Talok's flunkies, but we're keeping his palms well greased, and he should offer us safe passage through the systems. As long as we stay beneath Arya's notice, we should be fine. Sincerely, Valeria. This sounds like the kind of thing that Arya would certainly like to know about, but, as they're saying here, they're trying to keep it low-key enough that she doesn't notice. And that is one of the packages that we heard about from Ish, the guy that we met on Omega, and we heard that there was a package here on Ilium and a package on the Citadel as well. So we picked up one of them here, but there is another one. It should still be on the Citadel. Before we talk to the Synthetic Insights person, let us try chatting with the slave broker one more time.
You again. I'd hope to see a representative from Synthetic Insights making an offer for the Quarian.
Let's see. Did we try to talk her out of this already? Let's see if we try to help.
I'll talk to the Synthetic Insights rep and see what I can do.
Really? Thank you. I'd appreciate that.
Okay. Well, I mean, she is right here, so let's do it.
Can I help you with something?
Let's see. Would you just out of curiosity, would you happen to like a Quarian? No context necessary.
How would you like to get your hands on an expert Quarian AI programmer?
If you'd like to submit a resume, Wait. Is this that slave? Synthetic Insights has no interest in purchasing slave labor. We're under enough scrutiny from the Citadel without engaging in practices the Council disapproves of. To be frank, we're hardly hiring anyone. The Geth attack on the Citadel didn't engender much love for artificial intelligence.
Does make sense. You're prejudiced. I mean, could be good for business, though. I mean, if she's got the skills.
It sounds like Synthetic Insights is worried about its reputation. Hiring this Quarian would help.
Buying a slave helps our reputation. How exactly do you figure?
Purchase the contract, minus the fee for early emancipation, then free the Quarian and garnish wages for reimbursement.
Interesting. We look good for hiring a Quarian, and we can say that we freed slaves out of the goodness of our hearts. All right, I'll run up a contract. The board might wet its pants, but we could use the good publicity. This Quarian had better be good, though.
Alright, and there we go. We can now tell the slave broker that we have negotiated. So, let's see. We do get an update here, both on the packages for Ish. Maybe we read that, because that was the data pad we were reading before. So as I was saying, we were looking to pick up one on the Citadel and one on Ilium. We just picked up the one on Ilium, so we can deliver this to Ish in the markets of Omega. But this is the update on this quest we were just doing. situation with the indentured Quarian has been resolved, and she's no longer in danger. Tell the slave broker that Synthetic Insights will buy the Quarian's contract. So we have successfully convinced somebody to, well, not enslave the Quarian. As you see there, we got some Paragon points for doing so.
Synthetic Insights just sent over the contract. I cannot thank you enough.
No problem.
I'm happy to help.
Here, for your trouble. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll get this service contract transferred.
Thank you. I'll stay out of trouble this time.
So, there we go. More Paragon points, quest complete, some credits. So, I think technically speaking, the most morality points intensive solution to finishing that quest, because as you can probably imagine, there are a few slight iterations on how you can do that. You can just outright buy the slave directly, and then you be the one that frees her. Obviously, that costs credits in that case, so in that way, it's a little bit unfortunate that it does come with that cost. But I think the best way to do it is technically, at least from a Paragon perspective, to, as soon as you first get the quest from the slave owner and indentured servant owner, tell her slavery is stupid, you should free her. And then she, I think, balks at that, says, no way. And then, but you still get 5 Paragon points from that, I believe, or actually, you may even accept that if you charm your way out of it. And we might have done that? I don't remember exactly how we did it the first time, because of course then we got a little bit lost trying to find the person who was standing 20 feet away from us. But you get the Paragon points from that, and then you do just what we just did there, and talk to the Synthetic Insights person, and you can still tell them to buy the contract, and so you can get the Paragon points from this person as well. So basically you get the Paragon points in 2 separate chunks, which, like I said, that I think is the way that gives you the most Paragon points out of it. I don't recall as to how exactly we initiated it. We remember to do that when we first started the conversation, but we got close to the maximum amount, if not the maximum amount. We got some credits, but I don't think it was enough for us to suddenly be able to afford that other purchase. It was, what, like 75,000, I believe? So yeah, we're definitely not there yet. So let's take a look. We can still turn in those packages for Ish, but I think we'll probably be... I mean, that's... what, he's on Omega? So, I mean, obviously we're not currently on Omega, so I think we'll wait a little bit before we do that. Then, with that being said, though, on Ilium, we do have something we can do here. Miranda's loyalty mission. Miranda's estranged father is trying to take back her sister, Oriana. Miranda needs to go to Ilium. Makes sense for us to do it now, then. And get her sister off-world safely. Travel to Ilium in the Tsala system, located in the Crescent Nebula, and speak with Miranda's contact, Lantea, in the Eternity Lounge. In the Eternity Lounge, which is where we currently are. I think, however, go back through here real quick. We may need to have Miranda with us in order to do that. So, that's not the end of the world. I think we can try. Is that this person who's hanging out over here that we've, walked by a bazillion times and tried to speak to, but she hasn't had anything to say to us?
Excuse me, I'm waiting for someone.
Yes. So, I think that is the answer, is we just need to switch out one of our squad members to get Miranda, and we can certainly do that. So, let's double back real quick. And that is precisely what we'll do. Because remember, on all the hub world areas, whenever you leave, or once you go to the area where you can leave, you have the option of either actually leaving, or just returning, but with different squad members, and so that's what we'll do this time. And, as is the case here, there are a few occasions when that might actually be helpful. There's a specific person you need to trigger a certain quest, or maybe someone has unique dialogue that you want to make a point of hearing. So, those are just at least some of the reasons why you might want to do that. So, I believe that should be the case if we go right here. So we can, either return to the Normandy or select our squad, and it'll take us back to this screen. So, the key thing is we just need to get Miranda. Then, other than that, it really shouldn't matter. Sure, I guess we'll keep Thane. Then, in terms of weapons, again, shouldn't really matter. We are back in the same spot, but now we have Miranda, so I believe we should be able to speak to Lantea now. I'm actually somewhat surprised that we didn't accidentally speak to Lantea when we had Miranda with us previously and just accidentally triggered the next part of that quest. I suppose our general rule of thumb whenever we've been going to these homeworlds has been to use characters that we haven't spent that much time with before, and so obviously, at least early game, Miranda was with us for, at the very beginning, quite literally every mission because she was one of our only 2 squad mates. But even after that, we were relying on her pretty heavily with her warp and overload. Now, I mean, she's still an amazing squad mate, yes, but trying to make a conscious effort to pick other people now that we have at least one other person who can do warp and at least one other person that can do overload. So maybe not supplying all the same skills from one person, but we can distribute Miranda's contributions across a couple different people. So let's see, Miranda's here, so now will you actually let us speak to you? Let's save. We did, of course, finish those quests, and we may actually be able to initiate this quest here.
Ms. Lawson,
Here we go.
I'm glad you've made it. We've had a complication.
What happened? Is Ariana alright?
She's fine, but you listed a man named Niket as your trusted source. He contacted me, warning that your father has sent Eclipse mercenaries to make a sweep. He suggested that the mercs might be watching for you personally. He's offered to escort Oriana's family to the terminal instead.
Ooh, okay, a complication, you say. This Niket. I mean, I am a little intrigued. This is, I believe, the first we're hearing of this person, but also mercs. Both things sound a little bit concerning.
What information do you have about the mercenaries?
I've confirmed that they're Eclipse, and that they're working for an organization Ms. Lawson warned us about. I could try to alert the authorities, but so far they've done nothing illegal.
You made the right decision. We'll handle this ourselves.
Okay, Eclipse. Obviously, we've faced them many times before. They usually are barrier-centric in terms of their defenses, although sometimes shields just as much, if not more. And then they do have some biotics, they do have some tech as well. So then the question of who is this Niket? Apparently somebody who sounds like Miranda knows?
You didn't mention anything about Niket.
He's a friend. He and I go back a long way.
Do you want to bring in
What
any
happened
of
to
your
your
other
eyes?
alien
Oh, dear.
contacts, Ms. Lawson?
No, you and Niket are the only 2 I trust on this.
Okay, then, what should we do?
It's your sister, Miranda. What do you want to do?
Lantea, we'll follow Niket's suggestion. Shepard and I will take the car and draw their attention. Have Niket escort the family to the shuttle. Give him full access to the family's itinerary, just to be safe.
Understood, Ms. Lawson.
So the plan is for us to get shot down by Eclipse while your sister gets to safety?
Eclipse will be under orders to take my sister alive. They won't risk anything that could kill us.
I mean, if you say so, it's still a group of mercs at the end of the day, so I don't know how much we really believe that they're gonna stick to the plan, but might just devolve into chaos. What about this Niket guy? Will he be safe?
I doubt Eclipse will send all their people just to stop you. Do you want to give Niket any backup?
Niket can take care of himself. Besides, any armed backup just draws attention to him.
Alright, if you say so. It just sounds like there are a lot of ways this could take a turn for the worse very quickly. So, alright, I guess let's go.
Ready whenever you are, Miranda.
Thank you, Shepard. I appreciate this. I hadn't planned on Eclipse, but they never planned on you.
Alright, I see what you're saying. Okay, so obviously this is Miranda's loyalty mission. So we are by default taking her. As we were saying, she is probably the single most well-rounded squad mate, so that's great. Overload and Warp, both of which are pretty heavily upgraded right now. Submachine guns, heavy pistols. Really, her only weakness is her lack of particularly strong weapons and doesn't come with an ammo ability. We, I believe, do still have our squad incendiary ammo on, so that should be helpful. It is something that I know we've been talking a lot about potentially swapping out of, but at least for the moment it should be nice. And then, interesting question in terms of who the second person should be. As I was saying, oftentimes Eclipse means barriers, but can also mean a lot of shields, and I think in this case, that's more so what we're going to be looking for, is someone who's effective against shields. However, that's from purely a gameplay standpoint. From a more narrative standpoint, there is an interesting thing we can do with Jack, bringing her. So, I mean, as silly as it was, as funny as it was to have her in that, I don't even know what kind of outfit to call this, but, no, not when we're actually on a mission, I don't think. We can go with her, her original outfit, or this one. Maybe we go with that one just to mix it up a little bit more. But, The thing is with her, from an ability standpoint, not the best fit. As we've said before, Shockwave is pretty weak ability on the higher difficulty levels where basically every enemy has some kind of protection, so Shockwave does little to nothing against those enemies, at least until those barriers or shields or whatever they might be go away. We did, however, just finish Jack's loyalty mission, so we do have squad warp ammo, so that would give us another ammo power, and maybe slightly preferable to our squad incendiary ammo, or at least we'll have the option of switching between those two whenever we see fit. And pull, again, does also require that we remove layers of protection first, but he is a very helpful utility skill, especially when combined with, actually, warp ammo. Warp ammo, I believe, does do extra damage against barriers. It is the only ammo type that does that, so it's great for that purpose. It does okay damage against armor. Shields, I don't recall, but it also, I believe, does double damage against enemies that are affected by biotic abilities, and for the most part, that means enemies that are currently levitating from pull, and so obviously Jack has pull, so that's helpful there. And we have pull as well. I don't think any of Miranda's abilities, other than actually Slam would, counts as setting someone up, affecting them by biotic power, but obviously we won't have Slam until we finish this mission. So, yeah, I think we take Jack, again, primarily for narrative purposes, because she does, minor spoiler, have some unique dialogue in this quest if you bring her along with you. So, although it's going to be a little bit tougher with her, I think we try to take that risk. You know, this is a quest that was available to us a little while back, and we have leveled up a fair bit since then, so hopefully we're in a little bit better shape, that even if we aren't taking the ideal squad, we can still handle it. Then in terms of weapons, so for Shepard, let's see. I think Matic I do like a lot, of course. Same with the Geth Plasma Shotgun. Locust will probably stick with that. The key question is mostly with the Avalanche, what we might want to do with our heavy weapon. Do we stick with that? Or do we go with maybe, where are you? The Arc Projector. Again, anticipating that shields might actually be our biggest problem, and Arc Projector is, for the most part, the best heavy weapon against shields, so let's stick with that. Jack, Scimitar, right, we were debating whether Scimitar or Geth Plasma Shotgun might be preferable for squad mates, because I don't think that squad mates actually charge up the Geth Plasma Shotgun, which means it's significantly weaker in that case. So I suppose we'll stick with the Scimitar in that case, and Carnifex, yeah, that should be fine. For Miranda, nothing really should have changed here. Stick with Locust Carnifex. Okay, sounds good. So, yeah, we do have several squad ammo types with our current team composition. We're bringing the Incendiary, Jack is bringing the Warp, and then from a weapon standpoint, I mean, we're really the ones packing the firepower here. Jack, to a lesser extent, bringing a shotgun, whereas, as we were saying, Miranda, just SMG, heavy pistol, less so the case with her. So that might be our biggest weakness with this team, but let's give it a shot.
Damn it! Eclipse mercenary gunships. They'll be dropping troops in the cargo areas.
Who's this dude?
Put us down in that cover behind them.
Let's hope they really do want to take us alive.
Yeah, I hope you're right about that. Except maybe not.
Hold fire! I said hold fire, damn it!
Smooth landing. Arriving in style.
Since you're not firing yet, I trust you know who I am.
Yeah, they said you'd be in the car. You're the bitch that kidnapped our boss's little girl.
Kidnapped? This doesn't involve you. I suggest you take your men and go.
Think you've got it all lined up, huh? Captain Inyala's already moving in on the kid. She knows about Niket. He won't be helping you.
Hold on. It's a few things I have questions about here. This Captain Inyala person, I believe this might be the first we're hearing of them.
Should we be talking to Captain Inyala about this?
You don't want to talk to the captain. She's not as polite as I am.
Oh.
She's the best commando I've ever seen. I've seen her tear people in half with her biotics. And she's getting paid a lot to stop you.
She gets in my way, she'll never have a chance to spend it.
Ooh, alright, alright. As for Niket not helping us, it sounded like Miranda was saying she places a fair bit of trust in this guy. But he could be in trouble, or could be, I don't know, perhaps. Sounds like not as trustworthy as Miranda might seem he is.
What do you mean Niket won't be helping us?
Nothing you need to worry about. Nobody's gonna get killed unless you do something stupid. You walk away now, the girl goes back to her father, and everybody's happy.
Everybody but my sister. And me.
Okay, yeah. So as a reminder, in terms of more sort of the context and background of why Miranda is going on this mission and needs our help, is because her father is, very, well, over-involved in her life and her sister's life, and, remember, genetically modified Miranda to try to make her basically the perfect human being, and, then was trying to do something with Miranda's sister, and Miranda is trying to intervene and prevent that from happening. Don't think we know much else beyond that, but obviously we're hearing that at the end of the day, it appears as though it is Miranda's father who's the one who has purchased the assistance of Eclipse to kidnap Miranda's sister. So, okay, then we asked about Anyala. Did we ask about Niket as well? I think we did, but Oriana's age? I mean, if we're talking kidnapping her, and is this quite literally a little child, or not?
Wait, Miranda, you said she was your twin sister.
That what she told you? No, this crazy bitch kidnapped our boss's baby daughter. He's been looking for her for more than a decade.
It's complicated, Shepard. We share the same DNA, just not the same birthday.
You took a baby from the richest guy in the galaxy, lady. I don't know what your damage is, but you're not getting away with it.
That is interesting. That is interesting. So apparently they share DNA, but Miranda, again, had sort of an unusual, birth is the right way to put it, or I don't know if it's technically, was she, like, how do you get someone who's been genetically modified like that? Does it happen post-birth? Certainly not, right? Do you, like, put them in one of those cloning facilities in a tank, kind of like how we saw Grunt was created? I'm not really sure. I think we asked about Niket not helping, but let's just double check.
What do you mean Niket won't be
Yeah, we
helping
did.
us?
Yeah, I'll
Nothing
skip
you
through
need
this.
to worry. You walk away now.
Everybody but my sister.
All right. So
And
here's the
me.
thing. We're with Miranda here.
You're not getting Miranda's sister. If you push this, it'll go badly for you.
Captain Anyala ordered us to give you one chance to walk away. This whole time we've been talking, my men have been lining up shots.
Oh, have they now?
When I say
Perfect.
the word, we unleash hell on your squad. So I suggest you walk away nicely, unless
You have an
want things
interrupt
to get
option here,
ugly.
but it is a renegade interrupt. We'll
Works for
pass.
me.
They're not backing down. Tell Captain Anyala to send backup.
Okay, well, that does mean we certainly have some friends here. We have the Merc leader right in front of us. He has a barrier. And then we have an engineer back there with shields, and it looks like some other people dropping down. I can't really tell what they are from here. They're in a rather strange position at the moment. I think we might want to fall back a little bit, or at least get into... I mean, there is cover directly in front of us. I suppose that is potentially an option. Let's see. So this guy... See, this is the reason why Jack is not ideal. Because you see here, okay, so, can't use pull because you're protected by a barrier. Can't use shockwave because you're protected by a barrier. We could use warp ammo, but, apparently Jack already has it on. Okay, so, I mean, that's fine, I suppose. But, the thing is here, we definitely want to warp and read. Get rid of those defensive layers as quickly as possible. Did Jack just use an ability that just blatantly was not going to work? So, whatever. Oh, we're on the Matic. Okay, for a second I thought I initially thought, oh, this is not going to be good. That's going to knock us out of cover. And potentially kill us. That was close. Okay, so let's make sure that our friends are also behind cover here. Like, Miranda, if you could, like, actually, you could actually, like, maybe not climb onto that thing, but, you know, like, actually take cover. That might be preferable. And then, Jack, you might just want to move up here where we are, more or less. We'll make some room for you. Alright, we got some of our barriers back. Let's overload you. Because now, it'll be much easier to take care of you. Okay, so now that you're flying, I mean, we can review, yes, although I'm not really sure that's necessary. Yeah, so we got a lot of shields, and that's the thing is, ideally our second squad mate would have been more of a shield specialist, somebody else who has overload, or something along those lines. So that's why, like, once Miranda uses overload, okay, I mean, we're kind of just in a holding pattern here. There does appear to be a heavy back there, based on how there is a missile that is currently flying through the air in our general direction. But, perhaps we can preview real quick and watch as that missile flies over our head. Yeah, the heavy is this person back there. I mean, I'd like to get rid of her fairly quickly. This engineer is not dead yet, but I'm hoping will be dead quite soon. So, Miranda gets overload back. Oh, there are two heavies back there. Yeah, let's do something about this. And one of them's down. And I think that may have just been at least one more enemy moving in here. I don't think this engineer was here previously. You also have shields. There is still the heavy back there that also has shields, but we don't really have line of sight on her at the moment. Let's focus on you. And that was not enough to get rid of your shields single-handedly. Oh, and this drone is going to be a problem if we don't get rid of it. So it does knock us out of cover. Okay. Once again. Now you don't have shields anymore, so we can pull you out of cover. And warp you. And when they are pulled, and then we warp them after that, then we get a big explosion like that. It was enough to take that character out, and then knock this person out as well. I mean, they're not dead, but knocked them away and dealt damage to them. So that is really our key combo here with this team composition. So, do it again here. In theory, if Jack would cooperate. That was interesting trajectory. There is an achievement, as you're seeing, for doing enough of these combos. I don't know if that was person was technically still flying or not. Okay, let's move up. Well, you are in between shots. Now that we have a cleaner line of sight on you, let's overload you. We can pop you in the head, and ideally not get hit by that. Hello? Hello? Oh, did that hit us? I just heard the sound effect as if we'd taken a lot of damage. As if our shields were down, but I didn't think we got hit. Let's see, can we... Yes, we can. Warp you from there. I can pull you as well. We can. Nice. Okay. So, a little bit of a tricky situation there, what with the leader right on top of us, and then the heavies attacking from afar, and then those engineers that can knock us out of cover with their drones. But, as we saw, as long as we were patient, it was certainly possible. Certainly possible to take care of them. Just gotta be mindful of the heavies. Now, is there anything over here of interest for us, or shall we just carry on? Perhaps? There is more ammo over here. Hold on. Are we at full? I kind of doubt we are. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Then, now that we actually have a minute, let's make more of a point of setting up our ammos here. So, we had Jack on a shotgun when she was very much fighting from afar there. So, I mean, I think for the most part, we'll try to use Jack's warp ammo here. Not that it's necessarily the best option across the board. As we were saying, it is certainly best against barriers.
Good call.
But that may not always be the type of defenses we're going against here. I also love the sound effect. Lip. Okay, and then our last weapon is, of course, the arc projector. That doesn't have an ammo type. That is a heavy weapon. So, alright, let's carry on. And if we find ourselves in desperate need of extra damage against armor, then, of course, we have the option of going with the incendiary ammo that Shepard is providing. So that gives us a little bit of flexibility. Let's also save while we're at it, now that we are actually starting this mission.
Come on, we need to get to the
Ooh, hello! Yes, I see that. I also see these enemies, though. Okay, you are unprotected, so let's use Jack on you in that case. How did they just knock us out of cover? We didn't do anything. We got hit by nothing. Okay, again, I'd love if we could try to use that combo as much as possible. This guy might die before we can, though. Yeah. Because this is a good opportunity to make some progress toward that achievement. It's not something we've had much opportunity to do, because although we have brought Miranda with us a lot, we have not really done much of pull. And that is a very good crowd control ability, for sure. It's just that Shepard's had it for a long time, but it's been such a low level we haven't really made much of a point of using it.
Hang on, I've got one of their radios. I'll patch us in, see if I can get an idea of what we're up against. Shepard, I think I owe you an explanation. Oriana is my twin, genetically. But my father grew her when I was a teenager. She was meant to replace me. I couldn't let my father do to her what he did to me. So I rescued her. She's almost a woman now.
Questions. Still more questions. I mean, I don't know why Shepard seems to be really caught up on her age. Shepard, are you trying to hit on Miranda's sister here? Because it kind of feels like it. Why are you so interested in figuring out what her age is? I mean, it's a minor detail.
Why didn't you tell me that we were saving a kid?
She's not a child. She'll be 19 this year. But, well, it didn't seem relevant at the time, I suppose.
Fair point.
There are people who
kind of
use her
isn't.
against me. I'm very protective when it comes to Oriana. I'm sorry I didn't trust you sooner. You deserved to know.
Alright, it still just doesn't seem like a very important detail relative to all these other things. Like, why did you take her?
I can understand choosing to go your own way, but you stole a young child from her father.
If you knew my father, you would understand. I wasn't the first one he made. I was only the first one he kept. I was brought up with no friends, pushed to meet impossible demands. I wasn't a daughter to him. I don't know what I was. Oriana has had a normal life. I made the right decision.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the crazy part. Miranda, not exactly your normal daughter. You know, as we were saying, got genetically modified and was almost treated like a lab experiment in some ways, and then pushed to the absolute limit to test her capabilities, and apparently there were people created before her that were supposed to be the perfect daughters or the perfect children, and they didn't make the cut, so they didn't last. I mean, you and I can only guess what that means in terms of how things ended for them. But Miranda was apparently the first one to survive, or at least make it out. So okay, that's pretty twisted. Pretty interesting family you got there. So let's get to your sister.
If Eclipse knows where Oriana is, they'll be moving in on her soon. We need to hurry.
Agreed. I'm a bit worried by what the Merc said. If they've got to Niket somehow, this is going to be harder than I'd planned. According to the specs I reviewed, we'll need to cut through the cargo processing yard to get to Oriana.
Okay. So yeah. This whole Niket thing. You seem really intent on trusting him, but it does seem like the more we hear about him, the more reasons we have to doubt him.
I hope your friend can be trusted.
Absolutely. Niket is one of my oldest friends. I guess you could say he was my only real friend. He's the only person I didn't cut ties with when I left my father.
Okay, does that mean that your father knows him, however? Because that could make him dangerous.
Is there a chance your father could be using Niket to get to you?
I'm sure he's tried, but Niket's one of the few people who understands what my father is really like. I trusted him with my life when I ran from my father, Shepard. He won't betray me now.
Okay, if you say so, if you insist. As for the layout of the area we need to get through to get to your sister.
Can you tell me anything about the cargo processing yard?
We'll be moving through conveyor systems. There'll be a lot of movement. Finding targets won't be easy. We'll need to stay sharp. And these cargo transports carry hazardous materials. So watch what you shoot at.
Oh. Okay. In that case, let's carry on.
Let's go find Niket and Oriana.
Right.
Alright, get a few Paragon points from that. Let's see. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I think the place where we just were closes behind us. I'm pretty sure that's where we came from. And I don't believe we saw anything of interest there, so I think we just carry on in that case. Okay. Then we seem to have a few different spots here. Let's see, we have a PDA we can hack.
They're on the far side of the conveyor line. Time your shots.
Okay, give us a second here. Theoretically, people can attack us when we are hacking, for what it's worth. So, bear that in mind. Hopefully, they are not on their way over to us right now. Okay, got some credits. We cannot save because we are technically in combat right now, it would appear. Yeah, we can see... Yes, an enemy there. That may not have really been the best way to initiate this fight. Might have been preferable. Do something a little more ambitious. There does seem to be an explosive container right next to that guy, but I'm not able to hit it enough. Getcha. We just don't have a great angle. I don't think this was the best place, like I said. Not the best way to initiate this fight, nor was it the best place to initiate it from.
Trouble ahead.
Move that explosive container. Are these all just basic groups? So there's a lot on the far side, it seems. Remember that some of these barriers, some of these containers, apparently stuff will happen. Stuff will happen if we are to use them or hit them. In fact, they may have just exploded one on themselves. I wanted to try to blow this guy up with Miranda's warp, but I don't think we're gonna have time to do that. So let's reave him instead, and we can pull again for what it's worth. There is also another guy right next to him, but you have shields, so let's prioritize overloading you. That person's dead. Let's see. Got another person over here. Okay, Miranda is moving up somewhat aggressively. Not the biggest fan of that. Let's see, you are Lips Trooper that we would like to overload ideally, or we can pull and then warp. There we go. Okay, Miranda, if you could, like, actually stay in cover, though, stop trying to be a hero. Like, I know this is a loyalty mission and everything.
Enemies in front.
Oh, hello. Warp. There we go. See, we're making the combos happen. So, crazy as it sounds, in theory, there is some synergy to be had combining Miranda with Jack in that way. Even if they do kind of hate each other's guts. Okay, Jack, now you're trying to be a hero, and I disapprove of this. Okay, I think that guy is pretty much down here. We got a couple over here. That guy's trying to incinerate us. Let's try to get rid of your shields. Excuse me, we should be able to do this. And soon thereafter, warp. There we go. Working the combos. Working the combos. Might just be you at the moment. One or two more hits. There we go. Now, shields are down. We need to do this again. Okay, so like I said, not the best way to start that fight, but I do think we have at least taking out the initial wave of enemies. Why don't we make a point to save it here? Is anything else around here? I bet there is. We did, of course, hack in that room. But let's see. Keep our eyes peeled, make sure we don't get ambushed by anyone or anything here. So yeah, there are some explosive containers, so that is dangerous. Worth noting. Hiding any goodies back in this corner, perhaps? Medkit over there. Definitely want to nab that in just a minute. Looks pretty empty, though. Oh, ammo. We could use some of that. Okay.